Okay, hi folks. Chris here again with another reloading video. In this video series, I'm going to be demonstrating doing precision hand loading for long-range precision. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is duplicate the U.S. military's M118 long-range cartridge, which was part of the M24 sniper system from 1988 to 2014 and is still used by militaries and police forces all over the world. It's based on the 308 cartridge. The rifle I'm going to be using for this is my Savage Model 11 in 308. It's got a 22-inch barrel, which is 2 inches shorter than the M24. M24 is based on a Remington 700 with a 24-inch barrel, and a 1 to 11.25 inch rifling twist. Mine has a 1 to 10 inch twist, so it's a little bit, the bullet's going to come out spinning a little bit faster. But other than that, all of the other factors I'm going to be keeping as equal as possible, including powder. I'm using the stuff that Lake City loads those cartridges with, and the projectiles. I'm using Sierra Match King 175 grain hollow point boat tails. This box is open. So this cartridge, according to Wikipedia, has a nominal velocity of 2,580 feet per second, which gives it 960 yards of supersonic range. Once a bullet goes transonic, it really starts to be affected by drag. So anyhow, what I'm going to be demonstrating in this series is all the steps required to start from range brass, essentially, and load a long-range precision cartridge that can be consistent, accurate, and repeatable. So the first step we're going to do for that is we're just going to take this brass that was fired in someone else's chamber. We're going to load a ladder based on the load data that we got from our book or whatever website you use. I don't know if you can see that. So according to Hodgdon's website, for BLC2 minus 10%, you use 38.7 to 41.4 grains of powder. So I'm going to load a ladder of 6 rounds each, 39, 39.5, 40, 40.5, and 41 grains. We'll get those chronographed, and then we'll have a starting place to dive a little bit deeper. Okay, something I did is I started out with 40 pieces of the same head stamp brass. This particular one is PMC. I weighed all the brass, divided by the number 40, and came out with an average cartridge weight, and I put that as the center of my curve. Then I weighed each individual piece to the 10th of a grain and grouped them around the peak of that curve. And I ended up with these 30 cases here were in the middle. They were the 75% of the cases that were in the middle of the curve. And these 10 cases here were outliers, either much lighter or much heavier than all these cases. But all these cases are within 1.5 grains of weight of each other. Keeping that factor consistent is a key to having repeatable long-range accuracy. Okay, so since these were not fired out of my chamber, I'm going to have to add this extra step. Well, it's not an extra step, it's a standard step in this process. There are many ways to load for long-range precision, and we're going to go through my favorite method, which doesn't require as much precision measurement equipment, but instead a feel and a way of thinking about it. And that way of thinking about it is, first I'm going to fire form these brass to my chamber, and then I'm going to sacrifice one of them to incrementally adjust my resizing die until it just barely fits in my chamber, so that when it fires in the future, the brass isn't changing shape very much, so almost all of the energy of the combusting powder gets put into the projectile. I'm also going to be, at that point, playing with the seating depth to get it so that it doesn't have to jump a long ways to the lands, and we'll talk about that more in the future. But anyhow, I will elaborate on those subjects when I get back, but first I'm going to put this rifle back together. You can see I've torn apart the bolt because I thought I was going to be doing my precision reloading right away, but realized I hadn't fired these pieces of brass out of this barrel yet. So I'm going to start uploading this and get this rifle tidied up and put away, and then we'll start getting into the meat of it. Alright, thanks for watching.